Let me tell you an interesting story. In pre-Google era, one person was once roaming around. He had limited understanding of the geography and he had no clue where he wanted to go. So he asked a passerby that, "Can you tell me which way to go?" The passerby said, "It depends on where you want to go." The person said, "Actually, I'm lost and I do not know where to go." The passerby had a fantastic reply. The passerby said, "Then it does not matter which way you go." Good day, everyone. Hope all of you are doing fantastic. Just guess for a moment that you are directionless. You are in the middle of a jungle and you have no understanding of news. And what do you mean by news? North, south, east and west. So you have no understanding of the direction. What will happen to you? Or for a moment, please think that these directions were not even invented, or we never knew the directions in terms of north, south, east and west. How would you navigate? Just think for a moment that you are using a Google map and this Google map does not have a direction of north, east, south and west. How would it give you a direction where to go? Don't worry, I'm not going to give you a geography class. This discussion is primarily to set up directions. And which direction are we talking about? A direction of your life. Now let me take one example. You say that your BMI is in the obese category, or your BMI is not up to the mark. Now what is this BMI? I'm not going into the details actually of what is this BMI. But what I'm trying to say is this BMI is a standard. So, first thing what you do is create a standard for anything and everything. Because without creating a standard, you don't know how you are doing in comparison to standard. The standard is only for comparison. And as it is said, that measurement is key to improvement. What do you measure? A runner is doing a 100-meter dash. But if there is nothing called meter, how will you compare? Or if there is nothing called seconds, how will you compare the runner doing it in 12.5 seconds or 13 seconds or 14 seconds? Or for that matter, if someone has not done in X second, how will you compare? Am I doing better or worse than the person? And therefore, comparison against standard becomes the most important thing of measurement. You need to measure where you are going. So the first aspect is direction, which I have already discussed. The second aspect is measurement against the standard. Now, what happens, and this is where we come to a very interesting part. What happens when we combine direction and standard? It's difficult for anyone to say, what will happen if I combine direction and standard? When I combine direction and standards, that is what is called goal. So you set up a goal by combining what direction you want to go and what standards you want to achieve. The goal has these two simple aspects, and I will slowly explain how or what is the directional component of a goal and what is the standard component of a goal. Now you'll ask me, why do we need to set goals? Our life is beautiful without any goals, and we have fantastic life. We are going everywhere and stuff like that. I will just help you with one example. In your younger days, I'm sure every one of us made paper boats. What would happen if you put a paper boat or you float a paper boat in a river? It moves directionless. It moves along with the water of the river, and since it has no goal, finally, if you think of a situation where the boat is as is for a few days, then finally it will land into the sea along with the river. So, because there's no goal of the boat per se, and this sums up by itself that why do we need goals? We need goals in life to help ourselves understand where we want to reach and where we finally want to land ourselves at. So let me come back to you again after you have understood what and why do we need to set goals. I want to take you through the process of direction and standards, which are two important aspects, as I've earlier said, of setting your own goals. Why do you think ships have a rudder? And we have always heard of this, that a rudderless ship does not go anywhere. So that is the reason why ships have a rudder. Direction to a goal is extremely important. It is as important as a rudder in a ship, or maybe a rudder in any electronic communication system, which gives it a direction. Again, I'll come to the example of a Google map. If you do not have direction, how would you think that a Google map will help you reach your destination? So it's very, very critical that you have the right direction. Now, how do I know what is my right direction? You have to do your own SWOT analysis. What are primarily your strengths and weaknesses, and what are the opportunities around in the world, and thereby you have to create your own direction. The directions, maybe you want to reach a position, you want to excel, you want to study and attain certain degrees, you want to be the best accountant, or you want to be the best salesperson, you want to be the best HR, you want to be a senior position in an organization. These are the kind of directions which you need to take for yourself. Once you know what are your strengths, weaknesses, and the opportunities, and you create your directions, you figure out that this is where you need to go, the next comes is the standard. The first important aspect of the standard is the timeline. So you need to define that I want to reach my goal in this timeline. So timeline then becomes a very important standard, because you then start measuring your goals against that timeline. The next set of standards are your proficiency. If you set a goal around studies, then what is the kind of marks you want to get, or what is the kind of rank you want to hold, is something which is a standard. And you need to measure your work against these standards. The other things, in a corporate world, there are a lot of standards on which you can measure yourself, or you can finalize your standards, like the traits for getting into your next position, which you have set a goal for yourself. Like you can be best man manager, you can be the best analyst, you can be the best accountant, you can be the best compensation benefit person, etc., etc. So, two sets of standards, one is timeline and your proficiency, would determine whether your goal is rightly set, whether your goal is achievable. And hence, setting the right standard is the most important aspect. You cannot set a standard which is not achievable. At the same time, if you set a direction which has various sub-paths to it, then you are not setting a specific direction. So, setting a specific direction and setting standards which are achievable will lead you to success. I'm not going to tell you how to implement your goals. I'm sure you all are skillful enough to determine your goals and you know how to implement it. I just wanted to tell you two very important things which you cannot miss while implementing the goals. One, break your goals, break your achievements, what you want to achieve, into shorter goals, short time-bound goals. Achieve that shorter goal and go for the next. It will give you a lot of self-satisfaction when you are able to achieve the shorter goals and move into the next one. As a result, you will be able to achieve your final goal. The second thing, please revisit your goals. The world is changing all the time, and nowadays it is changing quite rapidly, and hence revisit your goal, align your goal to the changing needs of the world. Well, many people make this common mistake of setting a goal and continue pursuing that without understanding the impact of that goal may not be achievable, or that goal may not be relevant considering the current circumstances. So it's very, very important that you revisit your goals. Let me tell you an interesting story. In pre-Google era, one person was once roaming around. He had limited understanding of the geography and he had no clue where he wanted to go. So he asked a passerby that, "Can you tell me which way to go?" The passerby said, "It depends on where you want to go." The person said, "Actually, I'm lost and I do not know where to go." The passerby had a fantastic reply. The passerby said, "Then it does not matter which way you go." So from the story, we clearly understand that for us to have a clear path, we need to know where we are going and what is my destination. If we do not know what is the destination, where we are going, then it doesn't matter which path you are taking. Two things which I've explained: if you are able to revisit your goals, if you are able to create shorter versions of your goals, and regularly monitor and measure your goals, there is no way you will not achieve your goal. I'm sure if you put these things into your practice, you will set fantastic goals and you'll be able to achieve it. Believe in yourself. There is nothing in this world which is unachievable. Thank you.